Good morning, y'all. So today is the day I'm doing my HSG procedure, and I am so excited because this is the last thing that I have to do, that we have to do, to have our second consult with our RE, our reproductive endocrinologist. So I'm very excited for that. Don't get me wrong though, I am very nervous for the procedure. I've taken 4 Advils. That's what my doctor told me to do an hour before the procedure. I actually almost forgot that they told me to get pads because I think there's going to be some bleeding after. So I have to do that now before I go over there. I have an hour until my appointment. I don't know if I'm going to be able to film in there, but if I can, then I will. If I can't, then I will describe everything after. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.
All right, so
Hi guys.
everybody.
How are you?
I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm just kidding. I'm always good. So we're now re-recording this. We had the HSG update already done, recording when we were in the car when Lauren came and picked me up afterwards, and it's garbage. It's hot garbage. Maybe we'll put a clip in here so you guys can see how much garbage it is.
Video and audio fail.
Yeah, both the video and the audio were just garbage.
Yes.
Hot, delicious garbage.
It cleans you up and a lot of...
And they're slow. So because the video was such garbage, we are redoing a reshoot here on a different day so that we can give you guys all the details without so we can give you all the details without it sounding like hot garbage.
You said garbage enough. Okay. Yeah, we put it through the software. We tried everything to make it work, and it just was not working. So that's why our video is super late. Anyhow, my HSG appointment went pretty well. I think that it took around 30 minutes total. So it's not that long. And I think I had more anxiety than I should have because it wasn't that bad. So when I got to the appointment, they had me empty my bladder, which was very easy to do because I have to drive all the way down to LA. And the nurse gives you 2 of the gowns, one to go over the front and one to go over the back, so you're like completely enclosed. And then you lay down on this table that's like a x-ray table, and she already had the imaging on a screen right here so I could see my hip bones. And then she had the stirrups up, and she had me get to the edge of the table and get my legs in the stirrups before she called the doctor in, because I guess I had to be ready before she called the doctor in. So the nurse had me put my legs in the stirrups, and then she said not to be so nervous because I had a good doctor who was sympathetic and very patient and will continuously ask if you're doing okay throughout the entire process. Then she also said that when they put the dye in, you get to, what was that?
What was what? Can you just let me make faces while you talk? They're here to see me, not to hear your story.
Okay, when they put the dye in, it goes up and fills your fallopian tubes and everything, and basically looks like a flower. That's what she says. And I was like, okay, cool. So the doctor comes in and I'm in the stirrups and he sits right there. And for like 5 minutes, he's like opening up the catheter, preparing the catheter. And I'm just sitting there open, ready, waiting for him. And it was just very uncomfortable. It's like, let's get this show on the road. And
let's get this road on the show.
Okay, so so I waited for him for a while I was completely exposed, and that's just not fun. So I feel like they should have had that ready before I had my legs in the stirrups.
Was it a bit breezy in the office?
Yeah, I was getting chilly.
There's there's a bit of a chill.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, he was sitting right there.
So he could feel the breeze. Febrezed.
Okay. Anyways, so basically, he finally put the catheter in, and then he said he was gonna do the balloon. And this part,
did he like warm up his hands? Okay.
I don't think. Well, we put the speculum in at first, actually.
The cold steel.
Yeah. So I don't think I felt, and there was a light, and I don't think I felt hands. I don't think he used hands. He just like, you know, pushed the catheter in.
I'm not touching you. No hands.
Basically. So we put the catheter in, and this is the part I was nervous about. Like, I was so afraid that there was going to be pain because all the community boards talking about it. Some women were saying it wasn't painful, but other women were like, oh my gosh, it was so painful. So it was like mild period cramps for me, and I have really bad period cramps, so it wasn't, I'd take those any day over my period. So that's how bad it was for me. And maybe the 4 Advil that I took before was helpful, but mostly it was a piece of cake. So yeah, it was probably 4 Advil. So then I got to watch the dye fill in, and it did look like a flower. She wasn't wrong, but it looked like it was a blooming flower. Like, it was just like, you know, instead of
or, you know, instead of just, I'm a flower, I guess.
Okay. Anyhow, so, and the doctor said that there were no blockages and that I had a normal HSG. So that was awesome. He cleared everything out, like packed everything away.
I mean, you can tell him about your sideways uterus? What's that?
Sideways? Oh, I mean, it was a little tilted to the right, but it's normal, which was interesting. I want to see if I can get pictures. I thought about it the whole time, but I failed to ask there. So maybe the RE can give us a couple of pictures. We'll see. Not every day you get a picture of your uterus.
Not everybody gets a paint by number on the sides.
Yes. So, yeah, and then the nurse was very interesting. She was very kind, very nice. She told me that a lot of women get pregnant after this procedure. So she really believed that in 2 months from now that I would get pregnant.
Spoiler.
She also believes, spoiler, she also believes that I'm going to have a boy because it's it was her son's birthday that day.
Because that's how fertility works.
And yes, and she wants me to bring the baby by in 9 months. Or I guess 11 months from now. I don't think that's happening though.
No, probably
but
not.
I think I'll be more disappointed than her, so.
Yeah, but she won't see you, so she doesn't care.
Yeah, she's not thinking of me every day.
No, she's not. She's like, oh, that one lady that came in on my son's birthday. I really hope she has her baby now. No, she doesn't give a
So,
she doesn't give a dang.
Yeah, and then there was spotting initially. Then the next 2 days there was no spotting, and then the following 3 days there was spotting again. So the spotting lasted a lot longer than I anticipated, and longer than they said. They said 2 to 3 days. It lasted a lot longer. So there was that. I was very interesting. I had to call the nurse to make sure that that was normal. And
I was worried the whole time. I was like, do we need to go to the hospital?
yeah, the nurse mostly asked if I got dizzy when I stood up. And since I didn't need to come in, so.
Yeah, like that's the one symptom, I guess. Like, oh, you're waiting for me. Are you lightheaded? Oh, okay. No, you're fine. As long as you're not losing too much blood.
Yes, yes. So, and then we have our RE appointment set up. We already have that set up. And then Ben has since had his second sperm analysis and phone consult, and we wanted to update you on that too.
So, a little backstory. There was, I reread the sperm analysis. It's like the person, like me, didn't use a proper technique, is what the first sperm analysis said. It's like, didn't use proper technique. I don't remember what the technique was, but it said something about, you don't remember this? No,
I don't.
But yeah, so yeah, I just thought about telling the people that I apparently
This sounds like brand new information for me.
No, it says it. You could have read it, but you didn't. But I did.
On your phone app?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you read it to me in the car, so when we first got it, and then so it said I didn't use a proper technique.
I don't know.
I mean, I've been doing it for years. I figured I've got it down to a science, but I guess the cup being involved is maybe where I lost my focus, didn't keep my eye on the ball, and you know, I didn't know the name of the game, I guess.
Yeah.
So I said something about me not using the right technique, so whatever. And then so we went in for the second attempt. This time, as a proper take-home test, we did it at home instead of in the building, which they said may make you more comfortable and may produce better results, yada yada yada. And then we sped off to the hospital.
We had everything ready to go.
Yeah, we're like, all right, you know, keep my shoes on.
I pulled the car out.
Yeah, I pulled the car out, got the car ready. So we could just jump in the car and speed it away. And then, so then we dropped it off. And I looked at
the hospital's pretty far from our house.
Yeah, so it's like, well, the hospital that takes the samples, because there's another hospital that's pretty close.
Yes.
Only certain hospitals actually take the samples. So.
Yes, and also we had to take it during rush hour. So
yeah, because they're only open between like
8 and 12.
4-hour window.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we speed you away. We speeded over. I mean, drove over to the hospital. Talked to the lab tech, and I was like, blah 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 blah. I need to drop this off right now. And then she's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it right now. And they did it, and the test results came back shortly after. I went to work, so Lauren didn't get to see until I got home, but the results said that I indeed did have sperm. It said around 5 million or 2 million per milliliter, so 5 to 6 million is what it said. Said the morphology wasn't reported, which I don't know why, because it was ordered. But the motility was, I think, was like 25% or something like that, so it's not great. But the real problem is like, oh, 5 million, that's great. That's millions versus 0. But you know, 5 million is still too low to properly make the journey.
The average sperm, in case you guys don't remember from the other video, it's 20 million to 250 million, or is it 50 million to 250 million?
It's more than 5 million.
Yeah,
that's the important.
It's either 20 million or 50 million at least.
Yeah,
I think it's 20 million for IUI.
Well, 20 million is like you can get pregnant. 5 million is like you got a 0.5% chance.
Yes.
So if we try for 100 months, then you know there's 0.5% chance that, or there's
50% chance.
Yeah, 50% chance if we try 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be at 200 months worth. Maybe
yes.
we can get pregnant in 200 months. But so I mean.
So then you talk to the doctor.
Well, so, you know, so that was, you know, an improvement over 0 sperm.
Oh, yes.
You know, but I guess it was my technique, maybe. Like, at first I was like, I don't even know if I can have a biological child. But now I'm like, oh, cool, I get to have my own baby.
Yes.
I mean, so yeah, that happened. And then I had a follow-up call with the urologist shortly after her HSG test.
My HSG test?
Yes, her HSG test.
No, HSG procedure.
Okay, after her HSG procedure.
Okay.
Then I spoke with him, and so I asked him, because they said that there was a cyst on my testicle, yada yada yada. And he's like, I was like, do you think we should take a look at that? He's like, no, it wouldn't help. It's probably nothing. If you've got sperm, then it's probably nothing. So I'm like, okay, sure, whatever you say. So I was didn't know if that had to do with anything. So then he talked about how it's strange that my sperm levels are so low with my blood tests of like my testosterone tests say that everything's normal. So he would typically expect to either have like the varicose veins or low testosterone or something like related to my plumbing to cause a low sperm count. And so because I don't have anything else, he was kind of like at a loss for words, because there's not a lot of research done on male infertility. So he basically said, well, the things that we can do are we can try to put me on Clomid, which I guess raises testosterone levels, but
which
that's
helps sperm count.
Yeah, which helps sperm count, which is not really so much my problem.
Yeah.
But I guess it could. Like if my testosterone levels are like dropping throughout the day, I guess it can help stabilize it, or at least give me enough to where I can continue sperm production of some kind. So he tells me, he's like, we put you on Clomid and test again in 2 to 3 months. So he ordered the test, he ordered the Clomid, and
5 million is still not enough for an IUI, so we can't downgrade our what is it called?
I don't know.
What is it called? The ART, assisted reproductive. Oh,
Whatever that is.
no, I'm cutting all that, but I can't remember. Hi, Slob.
Hi, Slob.
Aww, on the cut part, Slob.
Yeah.
Slob, come here, babies. Come here, we want
She
you.
doesn't want anything to do with this.
Come here.
Okay, so
So we can't downgrade our IUI. Hi, Slob. Are you coming into the video? Come here. Oh, flubbies. Okay.
the urologist basically said that IVF is still our plan. That hasn't really changed. They're still at 0.5%, but that's not gonna happen. So yeah, so then IVF is still the plan. We don't have any other options at the moment. And that was the end of my call with him. We'll retest in 3 months, and we'll see if anything's changed. Hi, Kitty.
And I'll be testing my thyroid again before the RE appointment. So we'll see where that's at. And then we're gonna have the RE appointment, and we'll update you after that. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Instagram at Bean Journey. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.